and welcome everybody. It is Monday, and it's a fabulous day in the villages today, and it's 2 o'clock, and we're doing Who Can I Turn To, which is an excellent good song. Excellent good. That's kind of redundant too, isn't it? Um, Who Can I Turn To was first published in 1964. It was introduced in the musical. The musical is The Roar of the Grease Paint and the Smell of the Crowd. And if you kind of think about that, they kind of turned those words around. The musical actually struggled in the United Kingdom in 1964. Later on, it toured the US and did much better. In 1964, Shirley Bassey recorded the song, and it still didn't chart. So Tony Bennett and did it the same year, and then it became a hit, reaching number 33 on the U.S. pop singles and top 5 on the adult contemporary chart. So the public is very fickle as far as what they like and when they like it. So you never know if a musical is going to take off or not. Sometimes a song can be written and one person can record it and it does terrible, and then somebody else records it and it becomes a big hit, and you never know why. And that's just the way the music industry is. It's just very bizarre, and it is hit and miss, and a lot of it is luck, and a lot of it has nothing to do with talent, because there's so much talent out there that have done so many fabulous songs. Some are hits and some are not, and who knows why. In 1965, Dionne Warwick did this. Also, Dusty Springfield, Andy Williams. Here's one that I was surprised at, The Temptations. In 1995, Van Morrison. Now, Van Morrison was the one that did Brown Eyed Girl. Barbara Streisand did it in 2016. Harry Connick Jr., Sammy Davis Jr. That one is very, very, very good. And of course, the great Tony Bennett. And who did it originally? Anthony Newley, who is the composer of the song. He was in the musical and he did it originally. So if you want to listen to it, go to YouTube. It's actually got some very emotional lyrics. If you read the lyrics, it will really make the song come alive for you, because it's basically about somebody who got rejected, and now it's like, okay, my heart wants to know, and so I must go where destiny leads me. No star to guide me, and no one beside me. He's just been left alone. I'll go on my way, and after the day, the darkness will hide me. And maybe tomorrow, he's still got some hope. That's a good thing. I'll find what I'm after. I'll throw off my sorrow, beg, steal, or borrow my share of laughter. This was a very well written song, by the way. If you notice the cadence of the words and how the rhymes and the rhythms go, it's very good. With you, I could learn to, with you on a new day, but who can I turn to if you turn away? Wow. Wow. That very last line is kind of desperation. Yeah, very, very emotional. And I listened to Sammy Davis Jr. do it, and it just was pure emotion. It was very, very good. So, what kind of backgrounds work well on this? Lots of them. So, it pretty much anything that's 4/4. I went to my go-to, which is Strings 101 at about 84. Turned out very nice. Smoky Strings is fabulous. Um, Hawaiian Paradise was actually a very nice choice. And I did the swing, the serenade, but I took the orchestra plus off. So I took off the wah 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 wahs, and I also went to dinner and dance, and I tried it on romantic piano. No, I'm not going to play it on every single thing. But if you go to your pianist and guitarist backgrounds, you can sometimes find something that maybe isn't the great big orchestra, but it's got a little bit less, and it still makes a very poignant type of emotion, and I think you'll like it. On the smaller instruments, the Freedom 3 mellow, easy 8-beat, or your ballad Wonderful World actually worked very well on this. And your smooth backgrounds on the easy organs, 2s, 4s, 10s, any of your smooths were very, very nice. And again, those your pianist and guitarist backgrounds there are going to be some real pretty things. You've got the heartfelt and your guitarist background, and they just work so well with this song. So it can be big or it can be little, just depending on what you are looking for. And I was anywhere between 78 miles an hour, beats per minute, and 84. And that just is how you feel about it. I did add lots and lots of extra chords, but let me play it first because I want you to remember your extra chords are optional, but they will help this to move along. And I'm starting this on the Swing Serenade. And if you remember what Swing Serenade, the background sounds like this. If you take off the Orchestra Plus, you get this, okay? Which just gives you a nice beat. And then I left on the Glenn Miller horns on the top and on the bottom. Pretty song, very pretty song. And when you put it with, by the way, how's the sound? Is the sound okay? No,
Yeah.
the sound's not good.
I felt the top was too muddied. The lower keyboard was better. The upper key, is that got the
Okay, we're going to talk about that. I'm glad you noticed that because that is one of the things I wanted to talk about. So I'm absolutely glad you noticed. What happens? Let's talk about that now before I go into the chords. What happens when it starts to sound muddy? And why does it sound muddy? Because I was playing in the lower area and it sounded muddy because there is a harmony that is on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it starts to sound really super low because your harmony is going all the way down here. So yeah, sometimes that will sound muddy. I'm glad you noticed. What would happen if I put my hand up an octave?
It would be much better.
You think?
Yep.
Listen.
And you have to take the harmony off too, I think.
Yeah, okay. All right. That's a good suggestion. I'm going to play the first two lines
Okay.
up an octave and just
Okay.
see what you think. Okay, because I agree with you. Lower was muddy, and I'm glad you noticed it. So far, so good.
Okay. You have to
Oh,
adjust your,
see?
you have to adjust that
Yeah.
C scale up to F sharp or G or something.
Yeah, now you're getting the picture. Yes, when you go up an octave
Yeah.
and it starts to sound really screechy, then what
Yeah.
you have to do is you have to adjust. Okay, because yeah, I liked the instrumentation, but you are absolutely correct. Whoops, I gotta let Ramon in. Come on in, Ramon. But absolutely correct.
But
And
another thing,
go ahead.
another thing that you can do with that song is put a lot of string backgrounds on it.
Yeah,
And
but
if
I'm
you
not
go
there yet,
into,
Ken, I'm not there yet. I'm talking about the horns and I'm talking about the transpose right now.
yeah,
Okay?
I took all the horns off.
Yeah, well, I like it with the horns. So when it gets too muddy and you go up an octave and it gets too screechy
Yeah.
because you do have a wide range here, now you have to do some transposing. One of the things that we use transpose for. Transpose has so many different uses. It can be used for doing an arrangement, like from one verse to the next, transpose up half a step.
Right.
It can be used to keep your trombone or your trumpet in range. It can be used when Dawn comes to your house and wants to sing and can't sing in the key you're playing it in, and I tell you to transpose it so it fits my voice a little bit better. So those are some of the things for transpose. This is another thing to use it for. If it's too low or too high, if you go up the octave, then you have to go somewhere in the middle. And I just took it up to E. But yeah, usually I'll go to F, F sharp, or G because that's right in the middle. Sometimes you don't have to go up quite that far. So I just took it up to E, which is about, that's a couple steps up, and then kept it in that lower range and listen to the difference.
What is your harmony on?
Harmony came up to octave AOC. That's something else we can talk about. So yeah, you guys are thinking. I like it. So now I'm up to the key of E. And so I transpose it up that high. Better, right?
Much better.
Yeah, much
Yeah.
better. So that
Much
is
better, and it still makes it in that area where it's sad and
You don't
lonely.
want it to get screechy. You want it to keep it
Right.
low. That's why it was written
Right.
low. It's going to get higher towards the end when the emotions build. So yes, that is just something to note. And you definitely want to then mark transpose up to or down to or wherever you had to transpose it so that it fits your instrumentation. Now I could play it on romantic piano and use piano strings and I won't have that issue.
Right.
Who was it that said check the harmony as well?
I did.
Okay. Anne says check the harmony and see what's going on. If you touch harmony, I've got all these different harmonies here in the window and they all do different things. Octave AOC is going to give it a big full harmony. It's going to give it harmony here and it's going to give it harmony an octave down. So that's really taking it down. So if I take off harmony completely, I'm not really going to have the orchestration that I'm looking for, because then it's going to sound like I'm going to go to the bottom. Yeah, with no harmony, it just kind of lays there and doesn't do anything. So you want to add something. So you might want to try a plain old AOC. You might want to just try a duet, but maybe that octave AOC is just too much. So if we try just a plain old AOC, now I'm still in the key of E, so it's still going to work. But listen to the difference. Nicer? Maybe for this song, just a plain old AOC would be nicer instead of that octave AOC, which puts everything down even fuller. So these,
Okay, now I'm going to show you how I don't want to say the word dumb I am,
no,
but you just hit harmony. You hit harmony and
Yes.
everything came up in the window
Yes.
and so you could choose something else.
yes, you most
Oh my
definitely can.
gosh.
Oh boy, you learned something today. If you learn one thing today,
Oh my
you are
gosh.
100% successful. When you hit that harmony button, you've got all these choices to make. And I know a lot of the teachers in the variety classes have talked about the different harmonies and what they do. But just try them and see. There are two harmonies that put the harmony note above, and that would be the country and the, it used to be called barbershop, and now it's called something else on this one. I think it's called hymn on this one. But there are different harmonies. So if you change.
So does it normally come up the first one?
Nope.
If
it's
you
not-
hit harmony,
No. Oh, heaven forbid, no. It's going to come up what's good for the song or what's good for the
Oh.
instruments.
oh, okay.
Mhm.
All right. And it tells
Oh.
you when you look on the screen?
It'll tell you when you look on the screen. And if the harmony button is pushed and it was on and you turn it on and it comes up in the screen, it's going to show you which one it had chosen for that song. But yes, you can change it. Now, what happens if you do change it? What happens if you
I
do
don't
change
know.
it? You either have to
I didn't
write
even
it
know you could.
down so you can remember to
Oh,
change
okay.
it, or once you have all this stuff like, okay, I took off the orchestra plus, I changed the harmony, I transposed up to a different key. Now what do? Save it. Save it so that
Oh,
tomorrow
save
when
it.
you come to play, you don't have to go, what did I do? Yeah, see, that's a lot easier to save it. And saving things is so easy. You have a memorize button, right? And you have different banks. So you press memorize and you press one of the banks. I'm going to push the C bank just because I'm using the A bank right now. And it says setup number C0. Did C light up? No, it did not. Do not get yourself concerned over the fact that C did not light up. And
Right.
if I push number 10, C10, did 10 light up? No, it did not. But it shows you in the window. I am memorizing 2, setup number C10. It tells me in the window what I'm working on. Am I done yet? No, because now it says with style, with transpose. And you just touch with style, touch with transpose. I always hit with transpose because we put it up to E, so we want to have it in a whole different key. And then we're not done yet. Now we turn the memorize button off and it'll tell you memorized 2, setup number C10. So tomorrow, after you turn it off and you come back and you turn your instrument back on, all you have to do is push C10 and whatever you set up is going to show up and it's going to be there.
Is it going to say that song or do I have to remember it was that song?
Stop it.
You do have to remember that it was that song. Yes. So I highly recommend keeping a little notebook.
Yeah. I
Yes.
just write it right on the music.
Well, you can do that too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Can we
Any other
get back to the class?
Yes. Well, this is part of the class. Yes, this is part of the class. I'm going to start doing more features from the organ as well as what's going on with the song. So yes, I had planned that for the class, Pam. I did not digress. All right, let's do some extra chords. Why? Because inquiring minds want to know. Make that very first C a C major 7. A C major 7. Capital MAJ7, and the rules for 7s are the letter -1. The letter -1. So your 2 notes are C, chicken, and B, butterfly. And if you want to play it wide, that's what I suggest. If you want to play it B and C, I see nothing. You can do that. I'm okay with that. That's good for 2 counts. Over the D for the word turn, put in a C6. A C6 is a four-fingered chord, and the notes are C, E, G, and A.
Any
In that order. Do not change the order because
Oh.
then it turns into an A minor 7 and it's not going to sound. So what you're looking for is you are looking for this type of a progression. And it's subtle, but it's nice because it gives you a little bit of movement. Measure 2 over that whited in dotted half note. C major 7. Go back to the C and B for 2 counts. Beat 3, which is in between the notes, is a plain old C. Just go back to a plain old C. Now we're going to do some toggling back and forth between 2 chords. D minor or D minor 7 is good for 2 counts. Beat 3 over the D quarter note for the word needs. Put in a G or a G7, Gorilla 7, F and G. Cross out the G in the next measure and replace it with D minor or D minor 7, C, D, F for 2 counts, and beat 3, which is in between the notes, put your G or G7 back in. Those two notes follow, or those two chords follow each other very frequently. D minor goes to a G7. Line 2, make the C a C major 7, C and B for 3 counts. Beat 4 over the F quarter note for the word and. Put in a D minor, dinosaur minor, or D minor 7, C, D, F. Beat 1 over the G for the word so, E minor, or E minor 7. Elephant minor, which is E and G. If you include the 7, it's D, E, and G. Dinosaurs, elephants, and gorillas. That's good for 3 counts. Beat 4 over the A for where, C diminished. C diminished is C and F sharp. Remember the rule for diminished is always the letter plus 6. The G minor can be a G minor 7. Remember, 7s are optional, and that's a tough chord. F, G, and B flat. Let's go to the third line. Make that C7 a C9. A C9 is a 4-fingered chord. C, D, E, B flat. The B flat can go on the bottom. Chickens, dinosaurs, elephants, and flat butterflies. Make that F in measure 2 an F major 7, E and F for 2 counts. Now, over the A for the word guide, you may play a plain old F, or you may take your hand completely out of position and play an F6. F6 is F, A, C, and D, and it must be in that order, or it will be a D minor 7 and it won't sound. So if you just want to play plain old F, go ahead and just put your pointer on F, that'll work. Third measure, over the whited in dotted half note, F major 7, E and F. Beat 3, in between the notes, plain old F. The C, make it a C major 7, or you may make it a C major 9. C major 9. Now that's different from a C9. Your 4 notes are C, D, E, B, not B flat. The B can go on the bottom, and then it would be B, C, D, E all in a row. Just a beautiful chord. If you'd rather just play the C major 7, that's fine. Next line. The first 2 measures are fine just the way they are. Woohoo! Cross out the A at the end of the page and replace it with E minor, elephant minor, which is E and G, elephant and gorilla, for 2 counts. Over the G, I'm sorry? Question?
Yeah, could you do E minor 7 there?
I don't have it listed, but I don't see why not.
Okay. Because we've had so many 7s in there, I was
Yeah.
wondering if that would fall in there.
Yeah, I think that would be fine. I think a 7 would be fine there, actually.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Over the G for the word day, put your A or A7 back in. Top of the second page. The D minor is good. The G7 is good. The C is good for 2 counts. Over the D for morrow, put in a C6, which is that 4-fingered chord, C, E, G, A. Now remember, if you don't want to play that one, just play a plain old C. Stay on plain old C. Second line. First beat over that whited in dotted half note. C major 7. C and B. Chickens and butterflies for 2 counts. Beat 3 between the notes. Plain old C. The D minor or D minor 7 is good for 2 counts. Beat 3 over the D quarter note is a G or G7. The next measure, third measure, cross out the G and replace it with D minor, dinosaur minor, or D minor 7 for 2 counts. Again, in between the notes, beat 3, put your G or G7 back in. Make the C a C major 7. C and B for 3 counts. Over the F quarter note, the last beat, D minor or D minor 7, C, D, F. Line 3, beat 1 over the G for beg, E minor or E minor 7.
Dawn, I'm sorry,
Yes.
I lost connection.
Okay.
What was the fourth, the chord for the fourth beat, line 2 over sorrow?
Over sorrow, the fourth beat is D minor or D minor 7.
Okay, I lost connection. Okay.
That happens, no worries.
And did you start the next line
Yep,
already?
line 3, first beat, E minor or E minor 7, which
Okay.
is dinosaur, elephant, gorilla for 3 counts. Over the A, beat 4. C diminished, chicken diminished, my favorite place. C and F sharp. The G minor is good. The C7 can be a C9 if you wish. Now that is the one with the B flat in it, not the B natural. The B natural is a C major 7. So here's your notes. C, chicken. D, dinosaur. E, elephant. B flat, flat butterflies. And you can put that on the bottom if you want. It's okay. Any order. All right, let's go to the next line. The F chord is good for 2 counts. Over the A quarter note for the word learn, put in a C sharp augmented. This is the first time we're seeing this chord today. Your notes are C sharp, F, and A. And the mathematical formula is the letter plus 4 and plus 4 more. The letter plus 4 plus 4. That gives you an augmented chord. If you
Okay, where
play,
does that go? The
that
fourth
goes
line?
over the A for the word learn.
What did you call that?
The
What's
C
the name
sharp
of-
augmented.
What?
C sharp
C sharp.
augmented.
Okay.
Now,
Okay, and
if you put the
and the
C sharp
notes
on
are-
top, if you put the C sharp on top, it's an F augmented. It's the same chord with a different bass note. It doesn't matter. You can put it in either inversion. It's going to work.
so what are the notes?
The notes are C sharp,
Yep.
F, fish, A, alligator.
Okay.
Okay, second measure, D minor is good. The E7 is good. The A minor, you may put a 7 on the A minor, which would be C, G, and A. The last measure of that line, beat 1 over the whited in dotted half note, plain old F, fish. Beat 3. In between the notes, go back to an A minor. And the last line, the F is good, the C is good, the D minor or D minor 7 is good. Cross out the G7. We're going to replace that with a D flat 7, dinosaur flat 7. Your 2 notes are D flat and B. D flat and B. Flat dinosaurs and butterflies. Remember, the rules for 7s are the letter minus 2. So if you want to play it with the B on the bottom, it's going to be exactly the same. It's okay.
What,
Questions?
Oh, I
what
thought
is
it was
that?
not-
It's a D what?
D flat 7.
Okay.
So instead of playing a G7, you're going to play this, which just gives it a little bit more spice. That's all it does. Okay. Take my-
Question.
yes.
If you put MCS plus on, does that, you have to play the 7 on a chord?
You can. It's not
Does
going to
that
add the 7.
anything?
It's not going to add a 7. Your
Oh.
MCS plus will never add a 7.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
Yeah, no. Then if you want the 7, you still have to add that yourself.
Yeah,
Because a 7 is a moving chord. It's going to add things. It's going to double notes, and it's going to add, the jazz hands are going to add 6s and 9s.
okay.
Okay, the 7s are not going to be added with that MCS plus. But if you
No.
play, let's just, I've got MCS plus here. So if I'm on a C chord, here's a C7. And then if I add MCS plus, so it does add. Now you have to judge, is that going to add too much stuff to having all that harmony going on in the melody? It might. And it might sound really good too. So you have to judge whether or not that's going to work. And usually on the slower songs, MCS plus will be absolutely okay. But don't get it so full of harmony notes that all of a sudden it just becomes a mud pile, and then you're not going to like it. Then
I put all strings across
it
the,
might get too muddy. Yeah, if you put all strings and lots of harmony, it might, with the MCS plus, it just might. Now I'm saying it might sound good. So let your ear be the final judge, because sometimes adding MCS plus can make it muddy. Sometimes adding too much harmony can make it muddy. So you have to be the final judge.
I put the harmony on duet,
Okay.
and then I put all the strings on, and the last string I put on was a gypsy. What I did is I went into strings 101, and then but I took everything that was on the lower keyboard and put it on the top,
Okay.
and it just happened to work out beautiful.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay. I was trying to make note of the 7 chords. I thought we had a letter -1 for 7th chord, like
No.
C major.
A letter -1 is a major 7. A major 7 is a jazz chord. A regular 7, also known as a dominant 7, is the regular 7. It's just the letter -2. So a C7 is a C with a B flat. C and B flat is a C7. If you have a
Okay.
C major 7, it's the letter -1, and that's
Okay,
a jazz chord. That's the
Okay.
difference.
All right, that's I got lost on for a minute. Okay.
It's okay. That's
But
absolutely okay.
Daun,
That's why-
I have a question,
Yes.
and
Ramon?
I do apologize to everybody. I came in late,
Uh-huh.
but what did you play? What was your background when you played? I missed that.
The first background I used was Swing Serenade, and I took the Orchestra Plus off, so I did not have those Glenn Miller trumpets in the background going wah, 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 wah. I took off the Orchestra Plus, but I left the Glenn Miller woodwinds on top and the Glenn Miller brass on the bottom.
Okay, and how fast?
It was at 80, between 78 and 84.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. Now I'm going to play it on strings 101, which I absolutely love, and I'm just using rhythm preset 0. I will also, by the way, do fingering, but I always like to do that last, or I should say I'm going to start doing that last, because some people seem to think that in an advanced class, the fingering is not as important. Well, guess what? I found out that when I did fingering last, and the last class that I did, only about 5 people dropped off. So I know it's pretty important to most of you. I'm not skipping it. We're just going to do it last so that those people who don't need it, don't want it, they don't have to sit through it. All right. I'm going to play it. Yes, go ahead.
Second page, last line.
Uh-huh.
The last chord change you had was the G. You
Yes.
changed the G to what?
D flat 7, which is
Okay, and you said the D flat and a B?
yes.
That
D-
comes up on mine as a C sharp 7.
No, you're playing D flat. You're playing D flat and A. Play D flat and B. Don't hit an A. If you hit an A, it's going to come up like an A7.
Oh, D flat and B comes up
B.
as a C sharp 7.
As a C sharp 7. Yes.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, it can come up, yeah.
Yeah. D flat and C sharp are the same key. And unfortunately, your instrument does not know. Yeah, it says C sharp 7 in this one too. Your instrument is smart, but it doesn't know which one you're looking at in your page. So if you'd rather write in C sharp 7 so that it matches what your chord is, absolutely do that. It's the same chord. There are some of the instruments that say D flat 7. So that's one that C sharp and D flat come up about the same amount of time.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Yep, that's a good question. Thank you for bringing that up.
I was getting ready to trade this in.
Oh, I have one for you. I have one for you. Strings 101.
We're losing you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are.
Lost the sound.
No, I think it's from Dawn's end.
I think we lost Dawn too. Hello.
We're in trouble now. We lost Dawn.
Yeah, right.
Now, who do we turn to?
We're
That's right.
unsupervised.
When she stops playing, maybe she'll realize.
That was perfect.
If too many people have their mics on, it'll take away from Dawn's.
I think she knows it.
Dawn, we can't hear.
Can't see.
I don't know where she is, Pam.
Oh, I can hear you, but I don't hear, I hear an echo in the
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we lost her.
The wire slipped probably again.
Perfect song, right?
Yeah, she's still on video. We didn't lose her completely, but we can't hear her.
She doesn't know. Hold up a sign. Wait, hang on. Wait.
Well, she's recording.
lost you.
Should be fun.
We lost you. Can you hear us? Can barely. Dawn, we can't hear you. No. Don't talk to us. We can't hear you.
She's talking.
She's having a time.
She's wondering, she'd have to wonder why we don't have a question or something.
Still,
I have a smart idea, Claire.
you can't hear me yet?
You're coming.
Better.
Just starting to come in.
Seriously.
There you are.
There you are.
Yeah,
Check your
okay.
volume. Check your volume.
Okay, is it better now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we
Did you
lost
be-
you in the middle of the song.
Did what? Oh, seriously? So it was
Did it
something.
Come unplugged?
No, something must have come unplugged.
We didn't know who to turn to.
Oh, oh,
So you're gonna do the whole lesson all over again.
that's never happened before. Owie. I'm so sorry. Okay. Well,
It sounded beautiful though with Strings 101.
Strings 101 was good.
Yeah.
For the, at least for the part
Yeah.
that you heard, right?
Yes.
You-
Okay. Well, if
you
you can
played
hear
it-
me now, I'm going to go through and I am going to give you fingering if you want fingering. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
Okay.
yes.
I have no idea what happened. No idea.
But it was nice with strings.
And video, you lost video too?
Yeah. No,
No,
Oh.
just
we could all see each other.
Oh, okay.
we
'Cause Lynn-
saw each other, but we didn't see you.
We didn't see you.
Seriously. Wow. I have no idea what happened.
It's Halloween.
Dawn, you were knocked down to about 5th or 6th position.
Wow. Because that shouldn't have, because I've done nothing different. All I know is my computer could have just updated. Right in the middle of this.
Gosh.
Yeah,
Right.
that's all I can think of. All right. So what we're going to do is we are going to do some fingering.
Yep.
And for those
What's
of you
the
who
song
don't,
for next week?
the song for next week, good question before we go.
Yeah,
Willow, Weep for Me, the next one.
okay.
Okay. Wow, that's never happened to me before. Ooh. Okay. Something did happen with Zoom because I've got something here that unclicked on me. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Can you still hear me?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it was
okay,
just in between a song, so you didn't do anything.
Okay. All right. So we're going to do fingering D3. D3, C2, D3, E4, low G1, D3, D3, C2, D3, G1, G1, next page, E3, E3, D sharp 2, E1, circle it, you are tucking it under. F2, G3, G3, F sharp 2, G3, A4, B flat 5, B flat 5, A4, B flat 5. D can either be 2 or 1. If you made it a 1, you're going to want to put a check mark at the end of the held D. Low C1, A3, A3, G sharp 2. The next A is a 1. Circle it. You're tucking it under. C3. D5. Watch that. B3, B3, A sharp 2, B3, low C1. And if you wanted to put a little squiggly line, you can do that and do a little glissando. Just reach your thumb up to your third finger and slide it down to the C. Fourth line, C1, A4, A4, G sharp 3, A4, F2, G3, G3, F sharp 2, G3, E1, D at the top of the page, 3, circle it. You are crossing it over. D3, C sharp 2, D3, F5. Low G1, D3, D3, C2, D3, E4. Second line, low G1, D3, D3, C2, D3, G1, G1, E3, E3, D sharp 2, E1, circle it, you're tucking it under, F2. Third line, G3, G3, F sharp 2, G3, A4, B flat 5, B flat 5, A4, B flat 5, D is 1 or 2, whichever one you like. If you make it a 1, put a little check mark because the next C is also a 1. Next line, A3, A3, G sharp 2, A3, B4, E1, B3, B3, A2, B3, C4. Little check mark. A1, C3, C3, B2, C3, C3, D4, E5, B1, and put a little squiggly line. You're going to do a little finger roll. Just there's more than 5 notes, so you have to finger roll the best you can and just grab as many as you can. You're going to skip the C actually. And then the C at the end is a 2. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I got it.
Pretty song, really pretty song.
It is. It is.
Try some of the extra chords. If you don't get the 9s, it's okay. But do try to get the major 7s. Don't worry as much about the 6s because that's a subtle change. But the major 7s are really, really nice. Those are the nice jazz chords. If you only learn one new chord, learn the major 7s today. Okay?
You know, that really started to sound good when you were playing the song and we lost it.
Oh,
and you had just went to the lower keyboard.
Oh,
and you were playing the violin and the gypsy violin.
Well, it's just a regular violin, but that's okay.
It was both. Both of them. Solo 1 was the violin. Solo 2 was the gypsy violin.
Okay. All right. Okay.
On that organ.
On this organ, yes.
I just recorded it on that organ.
Okay. Very nice. Yeah, but I'm trying to figure out why I would have lost my audio. Wow, and my video. Wow, that's bizarro. That's very strange. Since I'm not touching
Check your batteries.
No, my batteries here are fine. But you lost it here too.
Yeah.
And it's going through an 8-track mixer that's plugged into the wall.
Yeah, but you couldn't even hear us because we kept saying, Dawn, we can't hear you.
Yeah. Wow. So something happened. You know what?
The
I think
gremlins.
Yeah, but see, I also lost. I have a thing here where I'm supposed to click on for a different, sound quality, and that thing turned off on me. So something happened with Zoom. Guaranteed.
We had an unsupervised party going on.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you guys are the awesomest. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your patience with the technical
you.
difficulties. It seems like there's always something.
Good job, Don.
We do
Thank
the
you.
best we can.
Nice class. Thank you.
Thank you, Dawn. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
Thank you much.
Thank
Appreciate it.
you. We'll see you next week, or maybe we'll see you tomorrow.
Yep,
Okay.
see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks for
Bye.
everything.
Love you
Bye-bye.
guys.